Maya was one of the 3 surprise dinos that are being planned to be worked on based on roadmap. And also a subscriber asked me to do Maya, which worked out well because I had some thoughts and ideas for them after the roadmap drop. So, you know, I got some general ideas for Maya, which I'm mostly thinking about what to do with it being a good dino parent. Starting off with its attacks. It will have a bite like all other dinos. It's even shown in the concept art. I would say it should have a headbutt that is a mix of the one it had back in Legacy and the Peggy's head swing as its alt left click attack, which it would be nice for it to also do very low fracture damage too, aka it will take many headbutts to actually apply a fracture. But if it's like a small dino, it could like be in like 2 swings. And also, if it's a small enough dino, it could get knocked down, like most other head swings in the game at the moment. Then for its right click attack, it should be front limb kicking to be a bit different from Tenanto. Then for the alt right click attack, I'm not really sure, but I'm thinking of a directional kicking like Galley. It could be all limbs or only the back limbs. I'm still not sure. The attacks are not that important, other than the headbutt doing the low fracture, which I generally think will be a good idea, since Maya's pretty big. Alright, now to the part of Maya being a good dino parent. This part of Maya's gameplay should be heavily dependent on the nesting mechanic. And for that, it should give Maya a damage or resistance buff, or even both. Just any combat buff to help Maya protect its babies. And this buff should be based on the amount of eggs and hatchlings the parent Mayas have. I feel like the eggs will have to have a lower amount of buff because it's less to manage and, protect. There are multiple ways that people have tossed around for how the buff should be applied to Maya parents, but this is how I think the buff should be applied. So there will be a decent radius around the nest of the Maya parents, where the parent has to be in that radius to get the buff. And the amount of hatchlings in the radius correlate to how strong the buff will be for the parents. And the eggs give the buff based on how many non-rotten eggs there are in it. And I did mention that eggs will give a lesser buff because they're less to manage and they're going to be always in the radius. While the hatchlings, if the player hatchlings are dumb, they will leave and be too far from the radius. But I think if the radius is big enough, I think it will be fine. But not too big to where the Maya just are always strong if they just place a nest and have a few players spawn in and just always have a strong buff. But I still think mine should be still pretty good as a mid-tier without the nest, with the eggs and hatchlings, so the Maya players aren't forced to make nests. Like for example, like Serrato not being forced to eat only rotten meat and bones, it could still eat normal food. But to the basics, I feel like a Maya herd should consist of 6 or 4, since Tenos are like 8, if I remember correctly. And I feel Maya should still keep its speedy nature of its legacy self. Maybe around the same speed as Tenno, even though Maya is more than double the size. And it should swim pretty well too, and same goes for other hadrosaurs. We kind of have that example with Tenanto. And I say that's pretty much it. Please leave your thoughts and additional suggestions in the comments. See ya.